grab a cup, and start your engines. You're listening to Cars and Coffee on 91.3 WHJE. Good afternoon, good evening, I don't know. You're listening to Cars and Coffee on 91.3 WHJE. My name is Nathan Ward. Of course, it's Radiothon, yearly event that allows us to raise money and support the station. You want to donate, go to WHJE.com and click the donate button to send in some money to help out the station. Of course, Radiothon means that we bring alumni back, and we have two guests today that are the former hosts of the show. Everyone welcome Oliver Mason and Kyle Conley back into the studio.
Hello, everybody.
How are y'all doing?
How we doing?
Oh, we're fantastic. You know, Kyle's, he's working a 9 to 5, trying to become a pilot, but he's a bum, so he can't really do anything. And here I am. I'm at Ball State University, man.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Ball State University.
You're
instrument rated?
Yeah.
Okay, when are you getting your public pilot's license then?
I already have
commercial pilot's license.
Oh, the commercial? Yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
Oh, Republic? Oh.
Oh.
Man.
Dang it. Anyways, so just to give you a little rundown, Kyle and I started this show our junior year, just kind of on a whim, because neither of us really did anything.
Yep.
It originally started as top 3 with
Top
Kyle
10.
and Oliver.
Top
Top
10.
10 with Kyle and Oliver, where we would just fill our show slots by going in and talking about top 10 of anything, and usually we got kicked off the air. It's pretty awesome. There's a pretty infamous show that we'd gotten in a lot of trouble for. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Shout out Tommy Fagan for that one. And Jacob Bailey. But, you know, we had a lot of fun in our time here at WHD, and it's humbling to be back, because we left and all of a sudden all these guys got new equipment, and it's stupid.
Yeah.
Because we should have gotten the new equipment.
We got
supposed to get the
scammed.
new equipment.
We got scammed.
Yeah, we were all supposed to have this new stuff because they just renovated the live studio and our podcast studio. So it's like, this is nicer stuff than they have at WCRD up at Ball State. That's like no kidding.
Hey,
like,
chirp, baby.
Yeah, everything's
chirp.
everything's all nice and no longer ancient in here.
Yeah, you know what's really funny is that like all the same programming that we had, the old board that we had, like all that stuff is what they use at WCRD up at Ball State, which
They still have that. They've never.
Yeah. So
geez.
they are also 91.3, funny enough. So
Interesting.
I just went from 91.3 WHJE to 91.3 WCRD. It actually rolls off the tongue a lot easier.
Yeah.
So not too shabby though.
Well, we've got some stuff to talk about. I think y'all might have an opinion on the new Grand Prix of Arlington.
Miami 2.0,
It's
baby.
Miami
Yeah.
2.0. It's boring.
It's
boring.
Jerry Money.
Listen,
Jerry Jones. I hate that guy. He just lost. The Cowboys just lost.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about that, because let's just say I had some money on that game.
Sucker.
But,
Sucker.
Yeah,
Look
yeah.
at this guy.
Oof.
Someone put in a money line and it didn't hit.
Oof.
Guess what? Every money line I bet on this year is hit. I'm up like $200. Yeah, there's a dab
What
for
happened
that.
to what happened to that parlay?
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
I had a 7-leg parlay hit. I was going crazy.
Hey, beautiful.
I was going ape.
But I'll tell you this, okay? Nate, me and you have kept in touch about this many times, and if you follow me on Twitter, you've definitely seen my take on this.
David Land's
Twitter.com/ at Kyle Conley 59.
number one David Land op.
Yeah, I've been blocked for 3 years, but
I don't think I've ever seen a good take from him.
I'll tell
I've
you.
maybe
I'll
seen
tell you
one.
This is my take on Arlington, right? Because which for those of you who don't know, IndyCar announced 2 weeks ago or whatever it was now, a new race for 2026 in the parking lot of Globe Life Field and AT&T Stadium, also known as Jerry World.
Which is exactly what we were thinking was going to happen.
Yes, and it was, for those of you that, if you listened to our show last year, you know me and Oliver's opinion on the Miami Grand Prix, and this is IndyCar's version of
literal
it.
parking lot.
And we got rid of any kind of stadium affiliation when we switched up the track at Nashville.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we weren't even touching the stadium, minus like the pits, and it was great. And
then we moved to the Oval, and it got even better.
And then we ended up with Super Speedway out of nowhere, and everyone was like, "This is amazing. Let's run the Super Speedway kits." Like, nope, short oval.
Yeah.
We get the short oval kits.
And then the bump made it even worse.
Yeah, it was just not. I mean, it lived up to expectations. I will say the Nashville doubleheader did live up to expectations, but the problem was that we were running short oval kits on a super speedway when we should have been running super speedway kits. So,
I mean,
it's not like it would have made that race any better.
It wouldn't,
no.
But still, I mean, it would have made it a lot faster.
Like maximum downforce super speedway kits. It would have been better, not racing wise. The cars just would have looked better.
They would have looked better, and they would have been faster. It would have been faster. Would have been a lot
I think,
funnier.
Kyle, you said
Watching
something to me.
Roman
You said
Grosjean
something to
send
me
it to
about
the
this.
wall.
If we paved that track with asphalt, we could run super speedway.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. It'd be at least probably 9 or 10 miles an hour quicker. I bet you right now. But going back to Arlington, like this is my thing. First off, compared to Miami, we are actually going to run on some streets.
Yeah,
some
it's
streets.
not all parking.
It's not
lots.
all parking lots.
And we don't have fake water with yachts.
Yeah, we don't have fake
Nah,
water
we're not
with
that
yachts.
big opposers.
No.
We're not
We
that big
just have the
opposers.
team sponsoring each half of the track.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
But I will say this. This is my take. And if you're going to run a street course, okay, this is not just an IndyCar take. This goes for Formula One. This goes for NASCAR. This goes for GT World Challenge because they're doing it in China next year.
Oh, yeah,
MotoGP.
I saw that too.
MotoGP, but they don't do street
they
courses.
don't really either. WEC really doesn't really do street courses either.
Le Mans, but
But Le Mans is more public road. It's not a city street.
But for street courses, if you're going to do a street course, you should be racing around the skyscrapers, right?
Yeah.
Like Denver.
Like the original Denver.
Like the original
original Denver. Like Chicago NASCAR, kinda. They kind
I
of.
mean,
they're
the
like more in the
scenery at
parks.
least. 'Cause
Yeah.
you have to make the scenery look cool. You can't do it in a parking lot.
Yeah.
I mean, Detroit, you're under the Ren Center, but that track is awful.
Yeah, see, Detroit. Look, I'll tell you this:
The only draw is the double pit lane. That's
Listen,
the only draw.
Which they carried over to Arlington.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this about Detroit. Okay, when we stopped, this is like it was like the Nashville street course too. When we stopped crashing into each other, it puts on a decent race. The
Yeah, but
Detroit
we
race.
have F2 drivers in the field, so they won't stop crashing into each other.
True. But
And ex-F1 driver. Shout out Roman Grosjean.
Grosjean.
Yeah. Oof.
Hey, big shout out former F1 driver Pietro Fittipaldi.
Hey,
Oh
man,
yeah,
he-
who replaced Romain Grosjean after he
he
almost
really-
died.
I mean, like, Pietro Fittipaldi is really kind of turned it up. That's all I'm saying.
He's in a Rahal car. He doesn't have a very high bar.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know, but like,
He didn't
that's what I'm
finish
saying.
27th the whole year. So
Well, yeah, so shout out Graham Hall. But shout out Ray Hall, or LOL, being rated by the FBI. In their new facility
this
they
a couple
just
weeks ago.
finished in Zionsville. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
But like,
even
anyways,
even the feds wanted to see why they suck so much.
they said David Letterman. We see all this money you're putting in, but magically it's being done for nothing. So what's happening?
David,
Where's it
Mr.
going?
Letterman, you're investing so much money, yet you're somehow got worse. What's going on here?
There's a lot of
You went from going-
They
You
just
went
don't
from-
have Michael Cannon.
You went from finishing 15th to finishing 23rd. What's going on here?
Yeah.
They're okay. They're mid at best
Letterman
on
has
road
so
courses.
many
On ovals,
write-offs.
The
back.
NDGP.
You know how
Yeah,
much
back-
write-offs
NDGP.
Letterman has? Because he donates a lot of money to like Sid Kai at Ball State because he was a Sid Kai. He also donates a lot of money to Ball State as a whole, like the communications program, because he was a communications guy. Program. It's ingrained in my memory. Shout out Pat
Shout
McAfee. And he also puts a lot of money into obviously IndyCar. So it's like that guy has to have a stupid amount of write-offs when it comes to at least Ball State. But I'm sure, like when it comes to the funding for IndyCar, that's not a write-off. But even then, I mean, it's a way to spend your money colorfully by investing in a team that still needs more investors somehow. And
They lost their only bright spot in Hy-Vee.
yeah,
Oof. Yeah.
that was rough.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
that sucks.
They're underfunded. That's the common problem is with half these teams. They're underfunded.
One of the reasons
Coin.
why I wish Iowa was still good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like
Screw you, NASCAR.
you look at. I mean, IndyCar in general is underfunded. Why do you think we're running in the parking lots?
Why do we
Like,
think
why-
we're running
why-
a 12-year-old car?
Yeah.
And
Like-
12-year-old engines.
Yeah. I mean, we're in desperate need of a new chassis. What is it called? Like the
The DW12.
DW12. I mean, the W12 is it's getting old.
Yeah.
It's just like IndyCars have looked the same minus the aero screen since like 2018.
18.
So it's like
I mean, the Universal Aero Kit does look good. We just need a change.
we need a new
Listen,
chassis.
listen.
It's simple.
The champ
We need a chassis that's
the-
actually built for the hybrid system.
The Champ Car
Yeah,
Lolas,
shut up.
which in my opinion are the prettiest open wheel cars of all time,
Absolutely.
Well, yeah.
only ran for 4 years.
Yeah.
And we're running the DW12, which is a very heavy car
For what?
for 12.
Yeah, and
It's gonna be
everyone
13.
everyone thought the Lolas were like
2025 is going
relics.
to be 13 years old. And per Mark Miles, so take it with a grain of salt. Actually, don't even take it this good at
don't
all.
even
Yeah,
don't
don't
even
even
take
listen
him
to
seriously.
Don't
at
even
all.
listen to him.
I stopped taking him seriously.
It's like
after
every
Boston.
time Roger Penske says something. Just
That's the only
don't
thing I'm
listen to him.
nervous about Arlington is that it just ends up getting Boston. I really hope that doesn't
Yeah,
happen.
Boston would have been fun. But actually, Boston brings up a good point too, because like I said, if you're going to run a race, run around the skyscrapers, right?
Yeah. Boston was going to do that.
Boston was not. They weren't going to run around the Central Business District, but they were going to run in the Seaport District. Which, if you looked at it now,
it's
so developed.
In Boston is so developed, and it's so
gorgeous. It's effectively
gorgeous.
It's effectively like a Minneapolis, St. Paul, Dallas, Fort Worth. Like it's its own, area. Like if you could drop that in the middle of Iowa, and it would be taller than. It'd look more developed than Des Moines or Newton or not Newton, excuse me, or Iowa City.
Newton is literally Iowa Speedway.
Newton
Newton is literally the track in the airport.
Yeah. Hey, don't forget the corn. Don't forget the corn. Come on now.
If you drive along I-80, you will pass by Iowa. You will pass by Newton.
Yeah.
You will pass right by the track the Indy cars are on.
Yeah,
it's pretty great. And then you look at it from the highway, and you're like, that's pretty big. Why did they put it here? What was the reason? I've looked at nothing but corn for 2 hours, and I'm about to look at nothing but corn for another 3. Like, why did they put this here? So, I mean, the thing that I see, if IndyCar really wants development, which Kyle and I talked about quite a bit last year, is international races.
Yep. Go to Mexico City.
And when
Brazil.
we talked with Craig Hampson, shout out Craig Hampson, who came and talked on our show. Kyle and I with our show. I think you were here as well, but I don't know.
I was actually not here. I was listening.
You were listening at home.
Listening
That's
at
right.
home.
James was like, maybe don't have a first year there.
Yeah.
But you're second year now, so you get to do the interview.
Yeah, they still ignore me.
Hey, you better bring in a high profile interview like we did.
Ooh.
Come on.
Well, I'll tell you this: the bar is set at James Wexler. Because he got Simon Pageant of the year. He won the Indy 500.
He won the 500.
So
he literally just on a whim. Hey man,
how have I not heard about this?
So that's the bar. We did not. We beat that.
We really tried to get multiple drivers on here, and they all fell through.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So
I got ghosted on a few.
Shout out Jack Harvey.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Who wanted him to be in Miami the day?
Shout out Tom Blomqvist too.
Yeah, that was such a dumb situation with Tom Blomqvist. Yeah. He's still.
Just for
I really
get
like
fired
him.
a month.
Can we not? Can we just let rookies be rookies?
Yeah, just for Tom to get. Well, I'll tell you this, okay? It's kind of hard to let rookies be rookies when your teammate is qualifying on poles in like top 2 and finishing top 5.
Yeah, that's true.
When your best qualifying was 12th and your best result was like 16th.
And let's also throw this out here. He's not like a rookie. Like he didn't push up through like USF. He was a WEC driver.
Yeah, he was.
He was a WEC driver that had to bulk up his neck to even drive an IndyCar. Probably.
He was also. It's not like I'm going to say it's not like. When Canapino came, they're both similar age when they came, right? Canapino when he first tested an IndyCar, that was the first time he drove an open wheel car. Tom Blomqvist was on the road to Formula 1 where he beat some Verstappen guy.
You never bring that up. You bring that up all the time. Well, every time Tom Blomqvist comes out of your mouth, it's going to be followed by some Swedish guy beat Max Verstappen.
Yeah,
every single time.
Well, I mean, it's like it's the only notable thing he did in his open wheel career, except for ending his career by destroying Marcus Ericsson and Pietro Fittipaldi at the 500.
I would hate
Shout out
to be Marcus Ericsson.
I was so sad to see that Take 5 Energy car get destroyed.
Yeah, the 5 hour
energy. Or the 5 hour energy, not Take 5.
Love me some 5 hours too.
5, man. I used to just
that car's
I used to drink those things when I was at work. Bro.
We got some 5 hours.
He better pour 5 hour energy into orange juice and drink it in victory lane if he ever wins.
That would be pretty sick. It'd have to be like
so he'd pull a grandpa.
Well, yeah, his grandpa. So like
his milk
people
choice
don't
is
know,
Tropicana.
Yeah. Emerson Fittipaldi, when he won the 500, which is Pietro Fittipaldi's grandpa, instead of drinking milk like every other winner has done, he got Tropicana orange juice. And everyone was like, he's the only one who's ever done that, and he's probably the only one who ever did that. So it's just stupid. It's stupid. It's such a dumb thing. And when it announced that Pietro and what's the other guy? What's his brother's name? Pietro
Enzo.
And Enzo were going to try to run an IndyCar.
Naming your kid Enzo is not going to make him a good race car
side
driver.
by side. Yeah, trying to run them side by side in IndyCar would have been awesome. Brothers, we haven't had brothers in IndyCar since with Justin Wilson and Stephen Wilson. So
Baltimore Street Circuit, baby.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the last time we had brothers in IndyCar. So that would have been pretty cool to see brothers in IndyCar.
The last time we had brothers in IndyCar, we still had Pocono, Fontana, Baltimore.
Man,
we were also still using the same car we are now.
Yeah,
just throwing that out there. We had Pocono.
Back then, it just looked worse. I
don't know.
Okay, listen. Those were the manufacturer kit cars. Those things would have been beautiful.
No, those were the pre-manufactured kit cars.
2015.
No.
Steph and that
was 2013.
Stephen Wilson did the 2015 Indy 500.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
He was one of the cars.
Look it up.
He's one of the cars that Montoya and Power lapped on the final lap.
That was Justin. That was Justin.
Oh, I thought Steph was in too.
No. Steph was the one next year. He was driving for Jimmy Vassar.
Last time we had a father and son duo was Marco and Mario. Michael. And
Marco and Michael.
It's hard.
Marco Michael.
Sorry,
that commentary team was bad.
Yeah, that was not a good commentary team.
But
anyways,
Marty Reed was.
I mean, calling it the Daytona 500 on the last lap of the Indy 500 is something.
Yeah, the nail the nail in the final coffin. The nail in the final coffin.
Yeah, we had a couple of years there when Izod still sponsored the series. That was pretty bad.
Izod was an interesting sponsor.
That was not a good sponsor.
Dude, we had the Izod IndyCar series on Versus. Thanks, Tony George.
Man, that guy sucked.
Thank you, GG, baby.
Kyle Conley has a saying about Tony George that I can't repeat because it
on
has
air.
bad words.
Yeah.
It does have bad words.
But, I mean, I would say, going back to Arlington, it's going to be a boring race.
Yeah.
The other way of putting it,
I mean,
there's not a lot.
Fine, but
there's not a lot of
tell
spots
you.
for action in that
except
course
for
either.
the only place that looks like it could be like a decent passing zone is the end, like the end of the mile-long straightaway they're gonna have on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it right now. We're gonna have at least one brake failure that weekend because of how old this car is.
Let me just say the not straight back straightaway.
It's
one
like
mile.
curved.
It's like
can we standardize corner
F1
naming?
approach.
Can we standardize corner naming?
But I'll tell you this: my
wouldn't be a bad
dream for this is we Nashville it, so we let it run for a few years, and then we're like, oh no, something's happened. We can't run Arlington
and we're going to
anymore.
Texas
Motor Speedway.
Oh no! Jerry's decided to spend billions of dollars renovating AT&T Stadium. Texas Motor Speedway, baby.
We can cancel it. We'll say we cancel it due to World Cup preparations.
Genius.
Which, by the way, is in the same year it's going to debut. So Texas Motor Speedway 2026.
Genius.
Book it. The fact that you're going to make this call now and 2 years from now it's going to happen is going to be crazy. Because
praying the Kyle Conley 500 streak starts up. I want a David Malukas 500 win.
Don't even say that. Don't even say that.
Yeah,
I love David Malukas.
Not going to happen again.
His internet presence is amazing, and he's just such a goofball.
Dude, he did a full reaction to Turbo a couple days ago.
Like, he's just he broke his arm right before freaking season start.
McLaren.
And then
Zach Brown, baby,
Zach Brown in Zach Brown fashion started freaking
burning contracts.
And like same way he did Oliver Askew got a concussion. He said, "Well, there goes your contract."
And then he did it to Teo Porcher.
And he did it to Teo Porcher, and then he also did.
But he's an
Lucas.
F2 driver, so I was fine with it.
Yeah, Teo really did nothing.
Does Zach Brown smoke his fired drivers' contracts?
Probably. He probably lights him up when he lights a stogie because he's a big stogie guy. You ever see him smoking a stogie around the F1 pits? Does it all the time. And even then, like. I love McLaren in F1. You just like look at McLaren and IndyCar, and it's just like they have such good
Pato,
liveries.
and that's it.
It's just like I love you, Pato, my Lord and Savior, Pato Award, and then everyone else sucks.
And then they hire Nolan Siegel and Christian Lundgaard.
I hate Nolan Siegel and Christian Lundgaard. Not really Nolan Siegel. Nolan Siegel is ridiculously young to be starting the 500. That's all I'm saying.
Dude,
like,
he should have.
We're throwing him in an IndyCar at 19.
Yeah. Why?
What are we doing?
Why? He's not Colton Herta.
No, he's not, and he never really showed the skill in Indy Lights either. It's not next, it's Lights. I will fight on that.
I will say this. Nolan Siegel actually could have won the Gateway race this year, though.
Yeah,
he genuinely could have won.
That's pit strategy.
Yeah, that's just pit strategy. That's team strategy.
Yeah,
basically.
But could have until he sped in the pits.
Remember when he like
did not qualify?
Just ran into the wall for fun at the 500
twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like he's
the fact that he was going 218 in a Dale Coyne road course car was a miracle in and of itself.
And then he was like, "Time to meet the wall." He's my best friend. I watched that happen right there. Kyle and I were there when that happened. Like that was amazing.
My dad called it right when he walked through the room. He's like, "That kid's gonna crash."
Yeah, it's Catherine Legg.
She kept her foot in it.
Yeah, to be fair.
Hey, Catherine Legg.
And still qualified 30 seconds.
The elf car looked good.
Hey, I'll tell you this. Catherine.
Was the driver good?
Put Jamie Chadwick in it. Jamie Chadwick in it.
Actually, put Haley Deegan in it. She's starting next. She's starting Indy next. Hey, I want to see Haley Deegan in an Indy car.
We're going to get to that later.
I want Haley Deegan in an Indy car now. Dale Coyne hire.
Publicity.
Oh, that's all I'm saying.
I'll take the publicity.
When she went to NASCAR, everyone went ape.
Well, I'm just going to say this. Lindsey Brewer has double the following of her and did absolutely nothing for Indy Lights. So
That's true.
Haley Deegan. That's all I care about.
Haley Deegan at least might get a top 10.
She's a good driver. I
oval.
will say she's a good driver. She's a driver.
Because
forgetting
she's
literally every day that
motocross.
Lindsey Brewer exists.
Yeah.
Because I'll say this too. Like she's coming from the stock car world where her results were
Mid.
Let's be real.
But she started as with motorbikes, with doing dirt bikes.
Yeah.
Like that was
Isn't
her
that
big
what her
break.
dad did?
Yeah.
That's what Brian Deegan did.
Yeah.
But I will say this: if you remember the Jimmy Johnson IndyCar experience, where he was generationally hopeless
on road courses.
on the twisties, the road and street courses.
He did well at Texas that one time.
He was good on the ovals. He did almost cost his teammate an Indy 500 win though. With Ericsson.
If race control to the rescue for Marcus Ericsson.
Yeah.
If only he knew what would happen 1 year later.
Womp womp.
Race control had to go back at him for that one. Penske car, baby. The NGT Penske car series.
Yes,
that race was stupid, but I won $50 because Joseph won.
I really, when Pato passed, he did it way too early, and I knew he did it way too early. And I was sitting there watching as he passed.
And even if he took that run going into 3 with 2 to go, the cycle would have given him a draft.
If he would have, Joseph was really good on 4 the whole day. Joseph probably could have passed Pato into 1, and then depending on the run, Pato got off 2, and then the run he would get off 4. He could have made the pass into 3, or could have tried to do what Hornish did, get him right at the line.
That would have been crazy.
And it hurt so
and probably
bad
even more
because I had Pato on my picks. If I would have had Pato winning, that would have been $110 in my pocket.
Oof.
Like I was so excited when Pato passed going into that final lap, and then I watched Joseph Newgarden just chasing down on the back straightaway, and just dying.
I remember. So our seats are in turn 1 for the race. Right?
I sit inside turn 3, grow a pair.
I want to say
right next to the bricks, baby.
I want to say it was actually Christian Lundgaard. He did almost wreck in turn 1 on that final lap, as Pato was still in the lead.
Oh,
so had he not saved it, Pato O'Ward.
There's a parallel universe. There's a parallel universe not far from ours where you might be applauding Christian Lundgaard.
Pato O'Ward, never take him off your list. He's going to win the 500 this year.
No, I'm telling you. You know who will win the 500 one day, assuming he stays in a good car, which he should. He's talented enough to, and assuming his current team.
If you say Linus,
nope.
okay, I was going to say.
Assuming Andretti can continue what they had this year of having competent oval cars, Kyle Kirkwood.
Well, yeah, we've had this conversation so many times. Kyle Kirkwood, as a whole,
he should give away his wheels to 4 lucky fans.
Yeah.
Give away his tires.
Well, no, because remember 2023, the year he flipped and his tire almost killed.
That was crazy.
Dude, I didn't even notice.
Andretti,
I looked up right as that happened. I didn't realize Felix was in the wall. I was looking at my phone.
Listen, Andretti had awful cars on the ovals that year. They were awful. At Indy, they were all in the back. Kyle Kirkwood was running like 6th at the time, on genuine pace. He was out driving, and this year too, he was running top 5 for like the whole day up until the very end.
Yeah, I had him in my picks as well.
So Kirkwood, I'm telling, if Kirkwood gets in a Penske car, Ganassi car, guarantee he wins 500 his first try in one of those cars.
I mean, even the McLaren car,
a McLaren car too. Yeah,
and because Pato's shown they have.
And if Andretti can roll out, a good car, if he had the car Colton Herta had this year, he would. I'm telling you, Kirk would have been sipping milk this year.
You think?
Yeah.
I mean, Colton Herta, I will say, he is a monster on road and street courses, but the minute you put him on an oval, he just kind of backs off.
Yeah. And he finally got
that spin this year cost him the championship. That spin this year at Indy cost him the championship.
Not only did Colton Herta pick up his first oval podium this year, he also won on an oval somehow. Which was the shock of the century.
Whoa. Nashville?
Nashville.
Yeah, as I say.
And he got a podium at Milwaukee, I believe, too.
We had 3 doubleheaders this year.
Yeah.
That was actually kind of cool.
Minus
Iowa.
I mean, Milwaukee doubleheader, that's fine because it produced fine racing. But
it's the Milwaukee
and we got rid of the good doubleheader this year.
Why? Why?
Or for next year.
Why
we kept Iowa doubleheader, even though there might have been six passes all weekend.
Yeah, I hate Iowa. I hate watching it. I hate watching it. I hate watching it.
We should go to Chicagoland Speedway.
All right, here's your real hot take that if I were to say this on Reddit, I would get canceled.
Actually, if you post this on Twitter.
Reddit's a degenerate
Twitter knows some people might agree with me, but I always thought Iowa was just a boring race.
It is.
Always.
It is.
I'm not even you look back before they put the air screens on the car, right? From then, it was always boring. The only notable thing I can remember from a pre-2021 Iowa race, or pre-2022, because that's when we went back,
was when Colton Herta went flying into the catch fence in 2020.
Okay, that and that. So, okay, that
one of two things.
Okay, there's three things. Oliver Askew IndyCar podium.
Yeah.
That's just because I'm an Askew guy.
This guy literally will never stop bringing up Oliver Askew.
And Sandy.
He deserves a ride.
Colton's wreck, I guess. I forgot about that, to be honest with you. But then Elio's last win as a full-time driver prior to his 500 win.
Oh, yeah.
I just know that.
Yeah.
I just remember that just because I'm an Elio guy, too.
Man, everyone likes Elio.
Everyone likes Elio.
He's just such a likable guy.
Yeah.
Speaking of drivers you like, Kyle's pretty happy now because Louis Foster has a full-time IndyCar seat.
Yeah, that was
albeit with Rahal.
Yeah. When I saw that, my mind went straight to you. I was like, Kyle's gonna be a happy man today.
I kid you not, the amount of Twitter and Instagram notifications I got from that, my phone has never been that active before.
Oh, I forgot you got rid of your little crappy iPhone 6.
Yeah.
You actually have a phone now.
I do. But
this guy had an iPhone 6 up until last year.
I know you don't want to think about this. If Louis Foster doesn't make the 500, I am putting full blame on the fact that the Freedom 100 no longer exists.
Yeah. I'll tell you this, though. Right now, Louis Foster is the best oval driver on that team because Graham Rahal has been washed since 2017.
Graham Rahal's been washed since 2008.
I really, really like Graham Rahal.
I know, but he's just... I know here's the thing, and I feel like we're going to be the same thing we are with Graham. We're going to be with Colton here in a few years. I just think because Graham also came into IndyCar when he was 18, or it was Champ Car then.
Yeah.
Right?
Because
R.I.P. Champ Car.
His dad.
Well, the thing is, we look at Graham like he's like an old guy. We treat him on the same level as Elio. I think he's like 34. Graham Rahal
is. 30s.
You know, we treat him like how we treat Elio and Tony Kanaan. Elio's going to be 50 at the 500 next year.
That's insane.
You know? So
nothing compares to Mario Andretti running the 500 in his 60s.
I doubt
Foyt was almost 70, I think.
Yeah, Foyt was old.
Foyt was old when he hung it up.
Is Foyt the oldest guy to start?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Maybe besides in like the really early days.
Yeah.
So I do think Foyt has
had to be Foyt.
Foyt, I think, does have the record. And I think
he was like 68 or 69.
Him or Rutherford have the record for oldest to attempt.
90.
Rutherford was still trying in the mid 90s. Up until the split, Rutherford was still trying.
And he was at, him and Foyt were both in those like weirdo super front heavy Indy cars where you just slide the rear end out and stick the front.
They're just
schedule is
cars.
Half dirt, half pavement.
Yeah, shout out that one time AJ Foyt literally brought his dirt car to Milwaukee and whooped everyone's butt on an oval. That just shows how much of an animal that guy was.
Dude, we could do an entire episode on crazy AJ Foyt stories.
There's a lot. There is a lot.
Where's Ari Leyendyke when we need him?
Man, Ari Leyendyke would be like premier guest because that guy just has so much knowledge, and he was the only one in the entirety of the room after Newgarden won when he snaked into the pit commit line, and that went no. That went no.
He was the only one who didn't want a red flag after Benjamin Peterson caused chaos.
Benjamin
Peterson, look, I'm telling you, 20 years from now,
dude, the reason they changed that number is so stupid.
When you're doing you'll see this on Instagram now. People are like random NBA polls from the mid 2010s, right? You're gonna be doing random IndyCar polls from just all time. Benjamin Peterson's going to be one of those guys.
Benjamin Peterson was the equivalent of
100% fast 12 qualifying rate for Benjamin Peterson.
Hey, look at the positives here.
All I'm saying is Benjamin Peterson, in my mind, every time I think about him, it makes me think of the Honda driver that lost his super license in F1.
Yuji Ide.
Oh, Yuji Ide, yeah.
Yuji Ide. It just makes me think of him every time. Every time I think of Benjamin Peterson. He was so bad.
want to go back to this because we did briefly talk about the 500 a few minutes ago, and this randomly just popped in my mind. My favorite stat from the 500 this year is Stingray Robb not only led laps.
He led a
lot of laps, and he has now led more laps at the Indy 500 than Jacques Villeneuve.
Who's won
the Indy 500. He's won an IndyCar championship. He's won a Formula 1 championship.
Like he's like one of the all-time goats.
He's
like
one of the
motorsport goats.
He's one of the few eligible for the Triple Crown right now.
And Stingray Robb has led more laps than him.
Yeah, I think honestly, I could see Jacques Villeneuve randomly doing a Le Mans run.
He tried to.
Yeah, he tried to, but he signed with Van Wall.
He got fired too from Van Wall.
All I'm saying is,
how are you that bad? How are you that bad to get fired?
Because he's like
Van
60.
Wall? That's true.
All I'm saying is Mario technically has completed.
Mario
and
so is Montoya, because Montoya and him, but
Montoya has Mario, an LP2 win.
Yeah, Montoya and Mario both won Le Mans, just not overall.
They won class, so they're technically triple crowners. Technically. So I mean, you can play a game with that, but also Mario not only won Monaco, but also won the F1 championship, and won the 500 and an IndyCar championship. So it's like. He's got some extra stats.
He didn't win a IndyCar championship.
He won
he won six of them.
Yeah. Like, he's all-time GOAT. So is Jacques Villeneuve.
Where does Scott Dixon rank on the GOAT IndyCar GOAT rankings? And
top 10.
He's very much top 10.
He's top 10,
but
close to top 5. I say like 5.
Oh, I put him at 3.
3?
3.
Who's
Mario and Foyt.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, I mean, he's a
Foyt
6-time
won.
champion. He has the same stats as Mario, except for wins, which he's ahead of Mario.
Yeah,
but
is he? He's second on all-time wins list now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Behind Foyt. I'll tell you this: the only reason why I don't put Dixon at 2, I put Mario ahead of him. And this, look, I'm sorry
I was going to ask you this.
I'm sorry to beat this drum that every IndyCar fan does. When he started his career, he won his first 2 or 3 titles during the split, right? So, which he was in the IRL. Which I know, like, that was the stronger field at the time.
Yeah, because at that time, Sebastian Bourdais was winning in
Cart was basically dead.
It's not like there was still, like, 3 good drivers in Champ Car, so it's not like you were, like, Mario and Foyt, all their success came in a unified IndyCar series. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but even when you look at Foyt, you still have front-engine cars, you still have races on dirt, you still have...
Well, he was a master of his craft, and so is Dixon.
Yeah, and you have to remember, he was still racing up until the point where the split happened.
Yeah, he retired in '93, and the split happened 3 years later.
So, like, that, I mean,
that's
shows
insane to
that's
think about.
a lot.
Yeah.
Like, he was racing during the front engine, rear engine, when they finally switched over the rear engine.
He literally raced for, like, 50 years.
He raced.
40 years.
He raced while the Indy cars were literally death traps. If you hit a wall, it exploded because there was gas all around.
They still were when he retired.
No roll bars.
No roll bars.
No roll bar gang.
Like, he legitimately was still. He raced through like 7 different generations of IndyCar, and he was still winning. That is how good AJ Foyt was.
That's just
same thing with Mario.
Mean, Dixon hasn't even had the chance to demonstrate if he's good in other cars because of aforementioned management issues.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this: what I think it would take for Dixon to win the GOAT status, okay, he has to win at least 2 more 500s. Join the 3-time club, because like Foyt, it's hard to beat Foyt's 4.
It's
in his 7 titles.
It's astonishing.
I mean,
Dixon has only won 1 500.
Where are you putting Rick Mears?
Mears is 4.
Okay,
or
who's
5?
Who's 4?
Wait, no, yeah, 4.
I was gonna say, I'm like, if Dixon's
3, Mears is 4, 5. That's tough.
I love Rick Mears, man.
5 is a tough one.
Love Rick Mears. When that guy dies, I will have a heart attack.
Rutherford deserves a shout.
Johnny Rutherford.
Lone Star JR deserves a shout.
Yeah,
we should rebuild Texas Motors.
You know, honestly,
Texas World Speedway. Call it Johnny Rutherford Speedway.
This one you can put an asterisk on because you have to kind of think about an alternate universe. He's definitely top 10 though, as Montoya.
Yeah, no Pablo.
Because he did 4 full-time seasons, and one of those he won the title his rookie year, and he had 2 Indy 500 wins. And he almost won the title.
You also forget he was like a GOAT in F1 as well.
He was the only one who could challenge Schumacher. Like, Montoya, in my opinion, might be the
There's a lot of good
Montoya is the overall motorsport GOAT, in my honest opinion.
Montoya is a world champion if BMW Williams built a competent car.
Yeah.
If they didn't
all I'm saying is, like, there's multiple interviews where Michael Schumacher, who was the GOAT the GOAT of F1. There's no debating that. Of him, like, basically being like Juan Pablo Montoya is like my only competitor. Like, that guy in F1 with the BMW Williams car was just running down Schumacher.
Those BMW V10s were monsters.
So they sounded so good.
I'll say this,
V10s.
Because
actually, no,
Formula
that's not
One
gonna be
has
good for IndyCar.
Formula One has gotten a big wave in popularity thanks to Drive to Survive. So
I hate Drive to Survive.
For people who have gotten into F1 recently, I'm going to put Juan Montoya into, picture for you.
Yeah.
Okay? If you got into F1 from Drive to Survive,
he drives the modern day Ferrari, right? The modern day Ferrari, and he was winning races. He was finishing second every week.
He was in championship contention until Indy, I think. The 1 year that he was.
Man, can we bring that back too?
Indy road.
We
course.
were just
Can we give the Indy road course its proper use instead of going to Circuit of the Americas?
Why can't
that features what? First off, Circuit of the Americas, which stole all of its corners from other tracks, it's called Circuit of the Americas. Does not have a single corner from a track in America.
All I'm saying is
fun fact.
It's the Texas market fallacy.
Also,
you build tracks in Texas, but no one shows up.
Also, F1. They trademarked
Vegas is cool at least.
Yeah, F1 trademarked having a road course in Chicago. And
they're stealing NASCAR's thunder. F1 NASCAR doubleheader win.
I really hope Michael Jordan wins that lawsuit.
That
would be so funny.
I
hate NASCAR management.
3 hours away from Chicago, there's the world's most famous motor speedway ever. That has previously hosted the U.S. Grand Prix. Why are we racing in Chicago and not at Indianapolis?
Also, a little fun fact for you, too. So F1 started doing weekend attendance, like the mid-late 2010s. Before, they would just do like the race day attendance and all that. Indy's race day attendance, if every year they ran it, would be top 10 most attended now on weekends. For Indy
F1.
race day only would be higher than over half the F1 schedule weekend attendance. Indy on race day.
You want to know why?
Because we care about cars going in circles.
Yeah,
here. We also have 400,000. We can fit a lot more.
We can fit 500,000.
We can also make the IMSA race 6 hours and 42 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
run into dark.
Actually, why don't we do a 24-hour race at the Motor Speedway? Why can't we just run let's run Petit Le Mans
24-hour race on the oval.
And with
we could run we could run like a Petit Le
MX-5
Mans
Cup on the oval.
Oh yeah, they're going to Martinsville. You might as well.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. That would be amazing.
I want them at Talladega.
A ton of Miatas.
That's how we kill somebody.
MX-5 Cup at Talladega.
We're gonna kill somebody.
I want 36 wide. Okay, and that's what we would get.
And they don't use IMS as they should. Half that is because of Roger Penske buying it.
Can we go back to the old road course where the last corner is actually turn one of the oval?
Yes.
I don't like
please.
that last section at all.
Well, okay, they put that in for MotoGP.
Yeah, no, like that the last section now.
Whack.
No, the last section now. It was put, like I said, it was put in for MotoGP. It was good for bikes. It was good for bikes. It was
just because it's good for one motorsport discipline doesn't mean it's good for literally every single other one.
The bikes ran a road course going the right way. Okay.
Oh yeah, they do run it in the oval direction.
The bikes. First off, bring MotoGP back because I love MotoGP.
Yep.
Jack Miller.
Except
sorry for killing a seagull this morning.
But every year.
They're good though. But bring MotoGP back first. First off, this is the third time this mic has fallen off.
Kyle
today.
broke his mic. He's stupid.
Bring MotoGP back, and then
happens to everybody.
For the IMSA race, for the SRO 8 hour, for I was going to say the Grand Prix, but if I became dictator, it's gone.
The Grand Prix wouldn't exist.
Hey, Indianapolis road course
sucks.
Street course. It would be awesome.
Oh, you said Indy road course.
I didn't mean road course. I meant Indianapolis street course. Can you imagine going around?
Hey, actually,
500 laps around Monument Circle.
Listen. Bring Formula E to a street course in Indianapolis. You know why?
Why are they going to Homestead? That's gonna look like the apocalypse.
No, I'm telling
one's
you,
gonna show up.
Formula E, Indianapolis, so that way we can get a new motorsport here, and they would pave the roads for it.
Yeah, they would.
That's a good point.
They would, and there's Andretti in that. Andretti is a powerhouse.
Andretti gets his home race. They won the hey, by the way, FIA, because Andretti they run cars off the shelf that we don't know what they're doing here in America. They run the series that you also sanction. And what'd they do the year you said those comments? They won the title on a World Touring
I
series.
hate F1. I hate F1.
I just hate
Give
Liberty
us
Media.
Cadillac in freaking Michael or Andretti Motorsport into F1. I don't understand.
I just hate Liberty Media.
I still do not understand.
I do hate the FIA though.
It's like
the swearing laws.
The whole mess of Andretti trying to get into F1 was horrific because there was no good reason for them to turn them down. There's
every reason they came up with, Andretti would respond within a day later with like what they wanted.
Or how they would fix it.
Yeah. They're like, you guys, look, your shop is nowhere. You don't have a shop in England. Boom, they announced the shop in England. You don't have a big enough shop in America. Mega headquarters. They copied MTC. You know what I mean?
They literally just, they solved every problem as it came to them.
Also, that is coming up very nicely now. I flew by it this morning at 5 a.m.
Did Prema buy their old shop or is their new shop directly across?
It's directly across the street. It does not have the Prema signs up yet, but they are still loading stuff into it.
Oh, nice.
Moving on.
Also, we are this is for Radiothon. We're kind of forgetting about this, but right now, you're listening to Cars and Coffee on 91.3 WHJE. Me and so the voice you're hearing right now, I'm Oliver Mason, and joined by next to me, I have Nathan Ward, who took over this show from me and Kyle, who started our junior year, and we're here raising money. We're raising money for our station because, to be frank with you, we get
Who is
funding.
The most recent Radiothon donor? Let me take a look.
We get a lot of funding from the school. I mean, we do. We just got a brand new live studio, brand new podcast studio. But when it comes to the day-to-day operations, we need some money. I'm not going to lie. We're a ton of I'm a college student, but all these guys are all high school students, and they're here trying to give you good radio. And I think that is a worthy cause to donate for. And if you want to donate, go ahead and go to WHG.com, and there will be a big old donate button for you to hit to donate money. And if you donate $91.3, become part of the 91.3 Club. Very exclusive. We actually have a board right next to us. It says 91.3 WHG Club members, and they have a whole board of our club members, including Lisa Grove, a.k.a. Sean Grove, who's a WHG alum. Go
Bulldogs.
Go Bulldogs. He's a Butler. He's at Butler now.
We actually don't have any recent donors.
It's pretty.
At least not within the last hour.
Okay. Well, hey, you never know. Maybe
that could be
right
you.
Now. This could be you.
Go to WHG.com.
We can add your name
this cool
to
little
our
bell.
board.
You hear this bell, man? Every time you donate, we get to ring this. Come on.
And you know what? For everyone out there, okay, you know why you should donate? Out of the good of your heart, because the Hoosiers won today.
Yep, Hoosiers won. Time to donate, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
Do what Coach Sig would want you to do.
Donate to a high school radio station.
What would Coach Sig do?
What would Coach Sig do? Listen, this getting off topic here. Go Hoosiers, go IndyCar, bring back Cart.
Absolutely. Moving on.
Fire Mark Miles.
Donate.
Fire Mark Miles.
Fire Mark
and
Miles.
donate
I might sell some
WHJE.com.
Next, we had some group speedway testing at IMS. I went down and took some pictures. I don't know why I added that to the prep, but we had Renus VK go third in a Dale coin car.
Hey,
that's
man.
the only monumental thing.
I wouldn't go fully into it because it's just testing once again.
Yeah.
And testing can be very deceivious. I think that's a word.
Deceiving, Kyle. That's the word you're looking for.
There's a reason I'm going to fly airplanes, and I'm not going to be a teacher.
I don't want to fly in your airplanes.
So, that word. Testing can be
deceiving.
Deceiving.
Lock in, dude. Come on.
Because I'm gonna use this for an example. Last year, or 2023, so I guess that was last year. It's 2024 still.
Oh my God! Why are you becoming a pilot? You're gonna go to give the weather report and give it for next week. Oh my God!
It is
okay. Come on.
2023 for the Indy Lights postseason test. Miles Rowe, great driver, was third quickest, and in the 2024 season, he was 10th in the standings.
Does he rebound this year? Nope.
Maybe.
I do like Miles Rowe.
I do like him a lot. He's taking over for Jacob Abel. That car finished second in Indy Lights this year. He would have won the title had a guy named Louis Foster, who's now IndyCar bound, not exist. Louis Foster give him 1 year at Rahal till another team buys him out.
Until Power retires.
Until Will Power retires.
And
Roger Penske does not want David Malukas.
I think if Will Power loses the championship by less than 10 points next year, he hangs it up.
You think?
I think he's done.
Man,
I think he's done
he's
with
just
this
like
series.
Him and Scott Dixon they just have been long-time reliable drivers.
They're still winning.
And they're still winning.
Will Power lost the title because of a seatbelt.
He's not Tony Kanaan.
Oh, my. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
He's not Tony Kanaan.
I mean, Tony Kanaan,
okay.
Everyone loves Tony Kanaan, but he wasn't winning for the last years.
Okay, here's a real hot take about Tony Kanaan.
Well, yeah, but that's about it.
Okay, this is a real
that's
hot
like his
take
one
about
trick,
Tony
dude.
Kanaan, is that had TK not had his personality, he would have been long gone out of IndyCar by like 2009.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay, because what? He won the title in 2003, 2004?
Yeah, I think he completed every single lap that year, which is insane.
And then let's be real. He was like Daniel Ricciardo on F1 recently. He's a personality hire until he won the 500, which unfortunately meant he had to stick around for a few more years. And also, I'm real mad about that because the guy that started second that year and was a rookie who had somewhere in an alternate universe is a 2-time Indy 500 winner is on the grid today, Carlos Munoz.
Yeah. And I think
albeit I will say it probably would not have been the best thing had Munoz won the Indy 500 on his debut, considering he was kind of mid in Indy Lights.
In the spin, and in the 2018 500, I think he would have won in 2018.
Carlos Munoz. Okay, so there's
a
lot of what ifs.
Was bad.
Munoz is the biggest. Munoz and Wickens are two of the biggest what ifs in recent IndyCar.
Especially Wickens. I mean, look at Wickens. He's literally a paraplegic and is winning. In an Andretti, what is it?
Brian Herta TCR car.
Or Brian Herta TCR car.
So it's like... It's Andretti.
It's Andretti. But, I mean,
Andretti's going to have 4 hypercars when Genesis comes in.
Him and Carlos Munoz are both huge what-ifs. Kind of like, I would say that's like the Andrew Luck what-if.
Yeah.
They are the Andrew Luck what-if of IndyCar.
I'd put Wickens as RG3 just because injuries killed RG3's career.
Yeah, I mean, so did Andrew Luck.
Actually, yeah, so did Andrew Luck.
Unrelated.
But RG3 got it worse. But that's football. So.
But that's what I'm saying, because a lot of people talk about what-ifs in football, and like the big what-if in football is Andrew Luck, because he was coming out of college, was on fire, and then got signed first round by the Colts, and like went in his first season and just was killing it, and then got injured. But I mean, like, Carlos Munoz is on that same level of a what-if.
He finished second. His first ever IndyCar race was the Indy 500. Qualified second.
He did the double that year.
Yeah, he did the Freedom 100 double.
Obligatory to bring back the Freedom 100.
Yeah, absolutely. But Carlos Munoz, somewhere, and like, here's the thing. Had Rossi not stretched his fuel, who finished second that year? Carlos Munoz. Again, I'll tell you, like, every year he finished in the top 10, but one, which was 2015, because he had to pit for fuel on the last lap, where that whole day he was running like 4th. Like, Carlos Munoz knows his way around the motor
Charlie
speedway.
Kimball finished 3rd in that race.
Man, what a forgotten name. He's on that same list as Benjamin Peterson you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, but Kimball at least won an IndyCar race. Benjamin Peterson was...
That's forgettable, too.
Actually, no, Chip Ganassi fell off the wall in that race during his celebration.
Oh,
so
yeah, it was that race. It was that race.
I mean, so many drivers that were...
EJ Vizo.
Oh, my God.
Venezuelan oil money if it was a person. Actually, no, that's Milkaduno.
It was Milkaduno.
It's just funny because I mean this is
Milk
such
and Donuts, as Robin Miller called her.
It's such a active series.
Dude,
like it's so dynamic, and you look at F1 and it's static. It's just so static.
F1.
Well, that's because you have no room for anyone to progress up there. I think IndyCar's feeder series is doing a better job in progressing people up to the big series than F1.
Well, see, that problem is getting nullified because now all the F2 juniors have nowhere to go.
So they just go to IndyCar.
Yeah.
So the charters have actually stopped
feeder. F2's our feeder.
Yeah.
F1's our feeder.
F2 is Indy Lights now.
Like F1's our feeder too.
I mean,
We're
if Indy Lights had those cars,
bum IndyCar or bum F1 drivers who then become, in some cases, bum IndyCar drivers, but in some cases, really good IndyCar drivers. Marcus Ericsson, Pablo Montoya, Jacques Villeneuve.
It all depends. Well, Jacques went from IndyCar. He went to F1.
Well,
Nigel Mansell.
Nigel Mansell. Man, I'm surprised that name hasn't come up yet. Kyle loves Nigel Mansell. He loves that mustache of his. He wants to grow a mustache like Nigel Mansell.
Dude, that'd be a great mustache.
You start using a British accent after you grow it in. Yeah. There you go.
But I can't do one, unfortunately.
Oh. Bad genes?
Yeah, bad genes.
Sucks.
Oof.
This happens when your dad's like 70.
We got we had Fox promoting the IndyCar during the
I love you, Mr.
pregame for
Conley. I
IU.
didn't mean
Yeah,
that.
they did that. They did it during the Cowboys-Lions game. Thank you, Jerry Jones. That's $5 I'll never get back. But
$20 wait. I had a $20 money line on that, and it hit, and I got a lot of money.
You lose your best D lineman to the most gruesome leg injury I've ever seen. You still beat the crap out of the
I would say
Cowboys.
there's worse injuries.
yeah, there's
Damar Hamlin.
There's some worse injuries.
Damar Hamlin.
I mean, like visibly.
died on the field.
I mean, like visibly.
Oh
gruesome.
yeah,
like
that's
you can.
fair. But yeah,
Ricky Marsan,
different
49ers
conversation.
rookie who got shot.
yeah.
That's
But
a
anyways,
worse injury.
back to
Back to IndyCar.
Yeah. I made
Ro-
a bad take and we got off track.
Robert Wickens. Let's go back to him real quick. Fun fact for you: he, despite missing the last 3 rounds, he still beat his teammate in the points, which James Hinchcliffe.
Hinchcliffe won a race that year.
Yeah.
How?
Albeit Wickens, he didn't qualify for the 500. First off.
Hinchcliffe didn't qualify for the 500.
But also the big thing
because
is
the 500 was double points.
Robert Wickens
was
could have, except until Rossi hit him on the last restart, would have won on debut.
Could have won St. Pete.
Could
Could
have
have
won
won Mid-Ohio.
Could have won Phoenix had he not had to deal with Joseph
man,
Newgarden on fresh tires.
can we go back to Phoenix? That was another-
Phoenix. We need to raise the cars up so they don't destroy the
See,
floor.
the problem
whenever
with
they
Phoenix-
skip the dog leg.
See, the problem for Phoenix was the same problem, or Phoenix now is the same problem we'd have if we go back to Richmond, and it's the same problem I have with Iowa.
Because they're short ovals.
Yes, but this problem is because of short ovals. It's not a short oval problem. It's a problem that short ovals can create, is that the cars are too fast for the place.
Yeah.
Richmond is 3/4 of a mile.
Yeah.
That's
Iowa's
3 laps
7/8
around the
of a
running
mile.
track we have outside.
Iowa's
That's too short.
7/8 of a mile.
Slightly larger,
Yeah.
but
Like,
still.
marginally larger.
Yeah.
Marginally. Like, that's really not a big difference.
No, it isn't.
And Phoenix is just over a mile, I believe.
I just
I think it's
liked having
1.02 or something.
Yeah,
the thing that
that
made
sounds
Phoenix
right.
interesting was how hot it was.
Yeah.
That's what made Phoenix interesting.
So that. See, that's my thing though. Is just because they have to run at night, which night races.
Yep.
But the problem with Phoenix was because, and this is something that I think Iowa is going to run into here in a few years, barring they can't get Taylor Swift to perform the concerts.
It's not happening.
Is that
it's not happening.
I mean, if
we would never have to worry about promotion again.
listen, if we can put every IndyCar marketing dollar and every Hy-Vee marketing dollar and get some state funding from the state of Iowa, we can get it done. We can book it.
Everyone has to chip in.
Yeah, everyone has to chip in.
Looking at
this
you,
is where the
Roger
Radiothon
Penske.
donations are going.
Yeah. Radiothon donations. We're gonna put Taylor Swift in an IndyCar.
We're going to put
Don't
Taylor
tell
Swift in the
James.
studio.
Yeah.
Shh. Mr. James, you don't hear this.
Yeah.
We're not stealing the money. It's not happening. That's not
I'm
happening.
I'm not being a dumb second year.
I'm
again.
telling you this though. With Iowa, it's just too. The cars are too fast for the place, and so they can't pass at all.
And then NASCAR ruined the track.
No, and then
Texas.
Then the thing is too.
Typical.
When there's no passing involved and the race is just single file,
Auto Club.
the only place you can make a pass is pit lane or P Auto Club Speedway. Makes
that one
people
hurts.
not spend their money to go buy a ticket and put a butt in the seat. When that happens, track promoter doesn't make money, track doesn't make money, series loses money, no one shows up, it falls off the calendar. Bring back
Wonderful.
Michigan.
Absolutely.
We need the Michigan 500.
We need super speedways.
Okay,
back.
before we go, because we have a few minutes, the problem we had with Pocono is because it was sandwiched between 2 NASCAR Cup dates that were a month and a half apart.
Yet we still drew a crowd.
Yeah.
Pocono was just such a good race too. I mean, imagine if we ran Daytona.
Oof.
Oh,
That's
that
how we
would
kill people.
Yeah.
Pocono, the problem is when we went
the
to
fences are made out of
no,
rust.
well, see, when we went to the Universal Aero Kit in 2018, great looking car, it ruined the super speedway racing. Cars could not pass
Until
at all.
about last year.
Cars could not pass at all. So drivers just had to be super aggressive on the starts and restarts, which is why those two years we ran the Universal Aero Kit at Pocono, we saw cars going up into the catch fence.
Like now, if we ran the Universal Aero Kit at Pocono, I think we'd have an absolute banger.
I think we would, but the problem is because our last 2 stints at Pocono, we paralyzed one guy. We had a very similar accident, which could have paralyzed Felix Rosenquist had he hit the fence like a slightly different angle. So that was potentially we those are almost 2 potentially fatal wrecks. Justin Wilson lost his life there in 2015. There was already
that's a problem that's been rectified.
There was already such bad PR from it. I think if we were to go back, it'd be like going back to Vegas. Just
that's
like,
a good point. That's a good point.
Like, man, Dan Weldon, he just it was just his birthday last week. Or no, was it his birthday?
This week.
Yeah, it was his birthday this week.
No, it was the anniversary of his death.
It was it was the anniversary of his death. I wasn't tweaking. You said birthday. I said birthday.
You said birthday.
I did say birthday, but I meant anniversary of his death. But like,
Oof.
Dan Weldon's another kind of big what if, because I could have seen him going to.
He was gonna drive for Andretti full time in 2012.
Yeah, I mean,
replacing the lizard person believer Danica Patrick.
Yeah.
And I think that's how we're going to
I hate Danica Patrick, and that's how we're ending it.
That's how we're ending the show. Thank you.
Let's end it on one final thing. Bring back the 500. Bring back the Michigan 500. Bring back the Freedom 100.
Absolutely.
And Danica Patrick sucks. Okay.
Thank you for listening to Cars and Coffee. Remember, donate to Radiothon by going to WHJE.com and clicking the donate button. You've been listening to Cars and Coffee on 91.3 WHJE. My name is Nathan Ward. Let's end with Running Down a Dream by Tom Petty. Hi. If you're listening to this right now, that means you're listening to the YouTube version of the show. I just want to say thank you for listening, and make sure to subscribe so you never miss another show and more highlights from the TWIR channel. Now, let's get back to the show.